Ronell Nolan, President, CEO, Health Agents for America, coming to you live this Monday for a very important message. Normally, Monday Lives are not going to be probably as long as this one, so it's going to be a little bit longer, but please bear with me as I have a lot of important information to share with you. I want to thank you for being a HAFA member. There's a lot of confusion going on in our industry right now, and it's important that you're a member. It's important that you believe in what we are trying to accomplish, and it's important for you to remember that HAFA is at the table and we are fighting for you. So on Friday morning, I received an important message about a Zoom being held for the trade associations with CMS. Now the trade associations are HAFA, Big I, PIA, NAFA, and NABIP. So we had a call. About midway through the call, it was decided that at this time CMS couldn't make the announcement of the system change. So we were asked to reconvene at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. In the meantime, before we had our meeting, CMS released their press release of the system change and what exactly was going to happen, and what CMS's answer was to combat fraud. Now I'm coming to HAFA members because I am watching so much disinformation on the Facebook different accounts. If you are not a HAFA member and listening to this message, or you were not on that call with me on Friday, then most probably, unless you have a direct line to CMS, you are not fully aware of what has happened, what is going to happen, what happened effective Friday at midnight. So there's three things I want to talk to you about today. One is CMS's answer to combat fraud. Two is the NPN override. And three is the requirement of Social Security's. So let's talk about CMS and their combating fraud. Effective midnight on Friday, if you obtain a new client and they have an NPN attached to them, you will not be able to simply accept and help the client in the past. You will have to do one of three things. Have your client, along with yourself, do a three-way to the Marketplace call center. Number two, you could have your client set up their own healthcare.gov account. Number three, we were instructed that you could use a consumer directed pathway on the EDEs, which I'm not sure exists. So if you know of one, please let me know. So it's basically putting a lot of the onerous on the client. If many of you saw the Kaiser News article that was picked up by NBC and ABC, that I said that this was a decision that is going to be on the backs of the consumers. And I absolutely stand by that statement. So what are some of the problems that I foresee? And there's a lot of times where I'll see agents say, this is the most wonderful thing I've ever heard. And I'm not sure if I'm able to see things other people cannot see. I've been in the business 18 years, since I was 18 years old. I always look at what this can do to our industry. And this is going to put our industry on its ear. Agents and brokers, you're going to have to operate differently. You're not going to be able to help as many people as you have in the past. And it's going to put good agents at a disadvantage because the bad agents are going to continue to figure out how to circumvent this new program. So what's the problem with the three-way? We all know that there's issues with the call centers, the long waiting times, the times that I personally have been on the call when I know that a call center has blamed an agent or blamed Health Sherpa or blamed whoever, that a lot of things that comes out of that call is a bit disturbing, always disturbing. So that's concerning. Number one, the time that it's going to take. You're going to have to stop what you're doing. You're going to have to make a three-way, and then you're going to have to get your client to verbally consent to the change in NPN. Now, you're going to think, well, what about the consents that we've been doing? Keep doing them, they're a requirement. What if it's in the middle of that 12-hour integration period? Another thing for you to shake your head. The other thing is you could have your client call center. And CMS did, caution us about that, because, anybody could say they were the client. They could say that the call center, inadvertently made a change. So it's best if you do that together. So you can, definitely do the call center, deal with the long time that you're going to have to wait, and do it that way. We know if you have your client set up their own account in healthcare.gov, it's a hard system for consumers to navigate, and they always run into problems. But that is an issue. And then the pathway that is supposed to be on EDEs, I don't know what that is yet. However, supposedly a consumer should be able to set up their own account on the EDE. Now, let's go back to what I said, that all this is on the backs of consumers. I said consumer has to stop what they're doing and get on a three-way with you and wait hours for a response. I said that the client is going to have to set up their own healthcare.gov. I said the client is going to have to get on an EDE and set up their own application. Now, these are things that we have done, continue to do, and love to do for our clients. We believe in helping our clients. Then the other thing that I thought about is help on demand. How many people are actually going to be able to help anybody on help on demand? You're going to have to stop every time you get a call, because the majority of those folks have had possibly an other agent. They're not sure who they are. They need help. They'd like a good agent to help them. That's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a huge challenge. During the CMS call, there were several things that I, along with one of my board members, said to CMS, real time, real issues. And I always say, let's deal in some real cases. And my board member told them the truth. She said, I'm not going to be able to help the folks that I've helped in the past. In the short time limit that we have for open enrollment, I'm just not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to increase my book 25% like I normally do. I'm not going to help you get to the numbers that you want to get to. It's just not going to happen. And to be honest, at the end of that call, and most of you know me, you know I'm tough. It is hard to do anything that's going to, upset me, because I'm just used to it. But I was almost in tears, because I thought about what this was going to do to our industry. Now, I've seen some people put on Facebook, this is not going to affect me. Well, if you only work your book and NPN, and you don't get any new clients that would have an NPN attached to them, then you're absolutely correct. You just keep trucking and everything will work out fine. No problem whatsoever. But if you are the type person like I am, where I'll have a legislator call and say, Ronell, could you help my cousin, or could you help, my sister or my brother? They would really like you to help them. And I always stop what I'm doing and say, yes, I would be happy to. But if you think that I can run my little book of business that just helps pay the bills and run HAFA It's not going to happen. It's going to be impossible. And as our board member said to CMS, we're going to have to turn people away. There are going to be people that do not get enrolled in the time period of open enrollment because they can't find a good agent that has the time, not that we don't want to help, because we want to help, that has the time to stop and help. So I've heard this is not going to apply during open enrollment. That's completely false. This started Friday. It will go through open enrollment unless there's some magic pill that happens that I do not foresee, but it will happen. It will happen during open enrollment. Now, one of the comments that was made on our call was, we are telling you in advance so you can start having those three-way calls now. Like you can work, in advance or before open enrollment. And again, I said, we need to talk in reality because folks don't need us until open enrollment. Most people aren't going to call us today and say, look, Ronell, I know open enrollment is, in November. However, I want you to be my agent, and set that up now. Let's do a three-way. That's not going to happen. That's not reality. So yes, they did tell you in advance. Yes, you have plenty of time to be upset, but don't think it's not going to happen during open enrollment, because it is. What they did say, and I want to encourage you as HAFA members to send me any suggestions that you have, because they did say their door would be open to listen. So that's a definite good thing. I went back to the two-factor authentication, and what started all this fraud and abuse was the easy way to search someone's information by name, date of birth, and state. And the fact that if they just added one more factor there that agents and brokers would know, because we're talking to our clients, that would stop the majority of fraud, instead of the CMS system change, the member defense network, and everything else, that the 12-hour that I still can't get data to prove that that's going to do anything to help but harm us. So a lot of things I've heard on Facebook or saw on Facebook is, I'm just going to write a new application. Okay, I'm going to caution you about that. First of all, you're not supposed to have two applications. Second of all, that's probably going to trigger a fraud issue on the member defense network. That's going to stop commissions for everybody, including yourself, who thought you could get around the system. So write another application if you want. Get it stopped by fraud. I'm not sure how long that's going to take to get that resolved. I don't know what that looks like as of today, but know that that's probably not a good idea. Some people have suggested that we have a direct line. I have been trying to get a direct line for 12, 13 years. I have asked for a dedicated line. I will ask for it again. I promise, anything you ask me to ask, I will ask for. However, I do not foresee that happening in the very near future. I ask, are you going to add employees to the call center? Because this is going to blow up. And I was told, not at this time. So you're going to have longer call times than ever before. You're going to have the same people answering the phone, and you're going to be frustrated, and it's going to stop your production or slow down your production. So that's that part. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to help HAFA members. I've just come to the realization that I need to let you guys, as my members, know. I'm trying to try to notify everybody, and that's too hard. It's just too hard. So you are paying members. You believe in me. You believe in this association. So you are going to get this information firsthand from me. The other thing that I learned on my call was, if you do not have a direct contract with a carrier, you're not allowed to sell in the FFM. Now, I did not stutter. If you do not have a contract with an insurance company, you cannot write in the FFM. So I said, because I know Blue Cross of Louisiana does not give out contracts, what about the insurance companies that do not give out contracts? You're going to stop people from working under their FMO or whoever, their GA, because they don't have a contract. How is that fair? And of course, it's not fair, but those are the rules. So know that I am working on that angle because I was told it had to do with state government and things like that, which I'm not sure. It's one of my things that I just need to go down that rabbit hole and figure it out. But if you work with an FMO, a GA, I would encourage you to reach out to them. I would encourage them to reach out to me. And as a group, we need to get together and figure out how we are not all put out of business, because that's another gut punch. The third gut punch is that, not really a gut punch, it's just something that was told to me that I'm still just saying, okay. I have been asking for the two-factor approach from day one. And I've said, use Social Security numbers as that other search option. It's something that agents and brokers know. We know our clients. And I was told, well, not everybody has a Social Security number. Okay, well, I believed it because that's not, an area of community that I work. And then in a most recent call, I was told that almost everybody has a Social Security number. Okay. Things that make you go, But what CMS has come out also has said every application must include a Social Security number. So I'm not sure who out there, and I don't think it's my members, are not including Social Security numbers. Your application is not going to be accepted. You must have a Social Security number. You must input a Social Security number if you have one. Now, CMS said, I know that sometimes consumers don't want to give you the Social Security number. I don't have clients like that. Maybe you do. I don't know. But they suggest that, again, that consumer create their own healthcare.gov account so they can put in their own, Social Security information. I've said a lot. It's almost at the 20-minute mark. I've said a lot. But know that the system change, and I keep want to say system glitch. It's not a glitch. The system change did go into effect Friday morning. I have seen on Facebook some people have already tried to use it and have been on long wait lines. I need to know that. I need to know your experiences. I need to know your suggestions, and I need to know them quick. Know that we're going to be in Washington, D.C. at the Willard, and CMS will be there. They're prepared to answer questions. So if you have questions and you want answers, they're going to be there. That's very, very important. And I'll be honest, we are truly blessed to have the relationship that we do with CMS. And I know there are times that they probably, get angry with me because I'm blunt, I'm to the point, I do not hold punches, but I tell the truth. And I created HAFA because you needed someone to represent you exclusively that wasn't scared to say the word commission, wasn't scared to fight for the fact that we can't work for free, that wasn't scared to call people on bad decisions, and this is a bad decision. I am also having a meeting with Health Sherpa today to learn a little bit more about the Member Defense Network. Know that they're going to have a webinar on July 31st, so you'll learn more how that's going to play a role. But for open enrollment this year, starting the last 2 weeks ago, you have 12-hour reintegration, you have the Member Defense Network, and now you have the system change. I did ask that the 12-hour reintegration be changed to 24. I mean, come on, give us a little bit of a break. I didn't get any push forward on that, but I'm not giving up. If you know me, if you've been with me forever, you know I'm a dog with a bone. I do not give up. I refuse to give up. I can't see our industry going away because people do not understand how we operate and how we help people. You're the good agents. You're the cream of the crop. You're the best of the best. You keep doing what you're doing, and you let me know how I can help and what we can do. And we're going to fight this. And if we have to live within that bubble, as we did last year with the crazy consent forms that I think play no role, then we will. But until I have more news, Ronell Nolan, President, CEO, Health Agents for America, proud and honored to represent you.